And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is gonna feel something from him. And it ain't gonna be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
In Florida, man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots.
Oh, Tank's gonna kill him. Tank's gonna kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
okay. It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's gonna kill him because he will not get hit.
The boxing world can't stop talking about Gervonta "Tank" Davis, who looks sharper than ever before his showdown with Jake Paul. Recent training clips show explosive power, precision punches, and laser focus, proof that he's taking this fight seriously. Analysts say Tank's key to victory isn't raw power, but smart movement and timing. If he stays patient, controls the ring, and picks his shots, Jake won't keep up with his speed or accuracy. Everyone agrees. When Davis fights smart, his mix of skill, power, and footwork is nearly unbeatable. Experts warn that Jake Paul might face a brutal wake-up call against Gervonta "Tank" Davis. They say Tank's speed, precision, and fight IQ are on another level, something Jake's never dealt with before. While Jake's past rivals had strength, none had Tank's timing or ability to punish mistakes. Analysts predict that once Davis lands clean, it could be over fast. Jake's defense is still unproven, and against Tank's experience, a knockout feels almost certain.
He didn't, his ability make up for that size difference, in your honest opinion?
Well, he has to be very smart throughout the course of the fight. It's hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab. Jake's fighting one of the best boxers ever.
One major debate around this fight is the weight difference. Some say Jake's size gives him the edge, while others believe Gervonta "Tank" Davis's skill and precision will cancel it out. Fans remain split. A few question if the matchup is even fair. But Tank's supporters remind everyone, boxing isn't about size, it's about timing, control, and angles. Many believe Jake's basics aren't sharp enough, and Tank's technique will erase any size advantage Jake has.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta "Tank" Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14 down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta "Tank" Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all gonna say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis. He needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I'll say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level. And it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilla Killer.
Chilla Killers. Chilla Killers.
Michael Bisping admits Gervonta Tank Davis has serious power and skill, but warns that size can't be ignored. He respects Tank's ability to handle bigger opponents, though he notes the weight gap could test Tank's stamina and defense. Still, Bisping believes Tank's fight IQ and technique give him the edge. If anyone can overcome that size difference, it's Davis, as long as he fights smart and sticks to his strategy.
Is happening. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child, Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their professional records.
Analysts argue that Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't get the credit he deserves. They point out that many fighters gain huge recognition after sharing the ring with him. Opponents, who were once unknown, often see their careers take off post-fight. Proof of Tank's star power. Critics may question his legacy, but experts say his influence helps keep boxing exciting and opens doors for others in the sport.
Taking on Mike Tyson, that's pushing 60 years old, for crying out loud, but at the same time pretending to be like this badass motherfucker, sending me DMs talking. He offered me a contract a long time ago, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm a retired fighter and I've got one eye. Why would I want to fight you? I wouldn't lower myself to doing that. I know a lot of people do that. They do lower themselves, if you want to say that, because of the payday, because Jake Paul is a big name. He is a social media sensation. He's a YouTube star. And now, of course, in the world of boxing, he's one of boxing's biggest stars because he puts on these spectacles like Paul versus Tyson, like Nate Diaz, because these are the fighters, these are the names that attract the eyes. Jake Paul is the B-side to almost every single one of his fights. When he fought Nate Diaz, people were tuning in for Nate Diaz. His last fight against Cesar Chavez Jr., apparently no one watched that fight. Apparently the pay-per-views were ridiculously low. So this one's going back to Netflix on November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this would be very, very dangerous, and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him and hit him many times and not knock him out, with the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling around inside the head, and Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could, it's dangerous. That's why fights like this can't get sanctioned. That's why this is a exhibition bout and not a real matchup. Now listen, they're both going to get paid tremendously. They're going to make a ton of money, and a lot of people are going to tune in and watch it on Netflix. Fair play.
Dredge gives a balanced take on the criticism toward Gervonta Tank Davis. He says Tank has already achieved more than most fighters his age and deserves the big paydays he's earning. After years of risk and hard work, Reg believes it's only right for him to secure his future. He adds that critics overlook Tank's dedication and impact on the sport, and no matter what comes next, his legacy as one of this era's top lightweights is already set.
Discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them, because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who was somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely, when he defends his WBC 140-pound championship. Or does he have the WBA?
Analysts say the hype around this fight isn't just about boxing. It's also about Gervonta "Tank" Davis's cultural influence. As one of America's most recognized fighters, his matches become major events that go beyond the sport. With fame comes both praise and criticism, but experts agree his skill, not just his popularity, is what keeps him in